Good morning, students. Today I am going to teach you figure of a speech part 2. In the previous class I have taught you figure of a speech part 1. In that we have discussed various things about simile, metaphor, oxymoron, repetition, alliteration and many more. Okay, I think you have understand it. Now we go through the part 2. Okay, now in part 2 the first one is imagery. Okay, imagery means you have to imagine. This is language that produce picture in the minds of the people reading or listening. Means imagery, in imagery we create a picture in our mind. Okay, when the poet is talking about anything on that time, we are creating some picture. In that time we are there. When they are talking about water, we think about water. When they are talking about forest, we think about the forest. Okay, like that. It is taken from class 9 poem, The Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. Here we imagine that there are two roads which is diverted in a yellow woods. Yellow woods means a forest that is filled with yellow leaves. Okay, so it creates an imagination in our mind. It creates a picture in our mind. So when the things which create pictures in our mind, that is called imagery. Second, enjambment. Enjambment is a term used in poetry to refer to lines that end without punctuation and without completing a sentence. Okay, means when few lines are related with each other and the last word of each line is not punctuated either by full stop, comma or any question mark, that is called enjambment. Okay, in enjambment example, though as far that the passing there. Okay, the sentence is here. I have taken only one sentence, but in class 10 I have taught the poem Snow about the. Okay, so on that time in the poem Dust of Snow, I have taken 4 lines. Okay, and all the lines are connected with each other without any punctuation mark. It means when the lines are connected with each other and there is no punctuation mark, that is called enjambment. Next is refrain, a part of a song or poem which is repeated usually at the end of each verse. Okay, means कि when the certain lines are repeated again and again at the end of each verse after 4 or 8 lines of the poem in the first stanza or second stanza, it repeated again and again, that is called refrain. It is taken from a poem, okay, The Brook. For man may come and man may go, but I go on forever. It is repeated again and again. These 2 lines, for man may come and man may go, but I go on forever, it is repeated again and again in the poem. That is called refrain. In Hindi, we have also learned a poem of Lakshmi Bai कि खूब लड़ी मर्दानी वह तो झांसी वाली रानी थी. So that line is repeated again and again. खूब लड़ी मर्दानी वह तो झांसी वाली रानी थी. So when the same line is repeated again and again, that is called refrain. Okay. Next is assonance. The term assonance refers to the sounding like of words, especially the vowel sounds in them. Okay, what? In assonance, the vowel sound. When the same vowel sounds is sounding in the one line 2 or more, that is called assonance. Like born, O sound is here, born. Okay, B-O-R-N, born, O sound is here, and here also warm, W-A-R-M. Here also the same sound, warm. Okay, it is also warm. The both the sounds are same. Okay, and it is especially the vowel sounds. So it is called assonance. Next is consonance. Okay, in this repetition of consonant sounds, when the consonant sounds is repeated again and again in the same line. Okay, in the one line. Okay, that is called consonance. Like swift sledge snow. Swift sledge snow, here saw and saw. Okay, saw and saw. It is called consonance. Next is allusion. reference to a historical or literary person, means when we are talking about any historical or literary person or any event, okay, that is called allusion. Like Sant Peter, when we are talking about Sant Peter, means we are talking about some literary person, so that is called allusion. Next is paradox, a situation or a statement with two or more parts that seem strange or impossible together, means when two things comes and it is not possible, on that time we use paradox, that is paradox. Okay, your enemy's friend, here see, enemy and friend, how it is possible ki enemy and friends are used together, but in paradox we use such things like your enemy friend is your enemy, means friends and enemy are both related with each other. See the next, truth is honey which is bitter. So how it possible that honey is bitter? Honey is never bitter, it is always sweet, but here it is used truth is honey which is bitter, means honey and bitter are used, that is called paradox. Next is synecdoche. Synecdoche, a figure of a speech in which a part is made to represent the whole or vice versa. Okay, in this, a figure of a speech in which a part is made to represent the whole or vice versa, means whole or part, means part is represent to made whole or whole is represent to made part. For example, England lost by 6 wickets. So how a country lost by 6 wickets? So here England refers to English cricket team. Okay, English cricket team, that is called synecdoche. Can you spare your wallet? Is it possible to spare our wallet? Here wallet means money that is in our purse. Next, the last one is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia, when we form words that are like natural sounds, that is called onomatopoeia, means when we read about any natural sounding words, that is called onomatopoeia. Like the buzzing bee flew away. The buzzing, the sound buzzing here, see the sound buzzing here, this is the sound of bee, so that is a natural sounds. Okay, so that is called onomatopoeia. We also use cuckoo, so when we refer to cuckoo, that is also comes a natural sounds. Okay, so when we talk about the natural sounds, that is called onomatopoeia. Thank you, have a nice day.